Welcome back. This video is for the people managing the customer success managers. So, if you're a customer success director, an operations lead, or an owner who has a team doing client facing work, this is how GoCSM changes your job. Because the way a manager uses GoCSM is completely different compared to how a CSM uses it. A CSM is looking at an individual account and individual issues and trying to solve them one by one. What you're doing is looking at the entire portfolio, your team's performance, and whether the processes that you put in place are actually working. So, the first thing, your weekly pulse check starts right here in the health overview. So, you can go to health overview and look at the agency health score and look at the band distribution. How many accounts are thriving? How many are healthy, steady, and at risk? And more importantly, you're looking at how these numbers are actually moving week to week. So if the at risk number is growing and thriving is shrinking, then the problems are simply uh, outpacing what your team is doing to try to solve them. So if that ratio is actually improving, then your processes are working. The number that matters the most to you at this level is MRR at risk. This translates health scores into actual dollars. So if MRR at risk is climbing, then that is a conversation about revenue that you need to have internally and with top level leadership. And ultimately, you have to understand where it's concentrated and what the cause is. So, for example, is it spread across a bunch of smaller accounts, or is it sitting in like your biggest top five accounts? Because that's ultimately what's going to guide the decision making process here. The second thing, and this is probably the highest value thing that a manager and director can do inside of GoCSM, is pattern recognition. So go to health, go to sub accounts, filter by at risk, and one by one, go through the account health hub of each account and look at the AI overview for each of these accounts and take notes. You are looking for patterns, you're looking for repetition. So, for example, the same issues showing up across multiple accounts, or maybe at risk accounts are clustered on the same plan tier, or a group of accounts that onboarded around the same time, right after you changed something about your process, all started declining altogether. So, when you identify a pattern, you can start building a process to solve that pattern. So maybe it's something in your onboarding, your training, your knowledge base, your feature rollout, or the timing of you rolling out new features, or maybe the pricing that you offer is creating the same failures across multiple accounts in the portfolio. So in on the director level, that is your problem to solve, and it's going to require a process level fix that only somebody who's in middle or upper management can actually make. The third thing is using this data from GoCSM to manage your team. So before your weekly one-on-ones with the team, with the CSMs, or your group calls with the CSMs, filter the sub-accounts tab to at risk, just like we have it here. And when you sit down with the CSMs, you can ask specific questions based on the data that's available here. So, for example, what's your plan for this account, this specific one this week? Do you need any help? Do you need any assistance? Have you reached out to them before? How often? What did you say when you reached out? Did they respond? Things like that. And ultimately, the data here allows you to coach them using this data, and GoCSM will give you the information that you need to make those conversations more specific as opposed to more vague. And then monthly, the 90-day health trend which you can look at under Overview. This 90-day health trend is your North Star. So treat this as your strategic high level view. And it's telling you, is your portfolio health trending up or down or flat? If it's been flat or declining for more than a few weeks, despite your team actively working on at-risk accounts and reactivating accounts, then something systemic needs to change. So maybe the frequency of outreach or the method of outreach or what the outreach says specifically or the call to actions in the outreach needs to change. And so at this point, you can actually identify the issue, dive deeper, identify the issue, and then bring it to top level leadership, to the ownership, um, because then you'll be able to actually bring data and say, here's the pattern, here's what we've tried, here's what I think we should do differently. What do you think, owner? So to sum it up, I know that's been a lot. At the manager level, at the director level, GoCSM gives you three things: a weekly pulse on your portfolio health and your MRR that's at risk. And what this lets you do is be able to make mid-level and high-level decisions and identify patterns and fix them. Pattern recognition across at-risk accounts is a second thing, and this will let you fix the process that's causing that problem to emerge in the first place. And then the data is the third thing that you get to run your one-on-ones or group calls with your CSMs around specific accounts as opposed to just generic check-ins. So the CSMs get to handle the accounts and one-off problems. Directors get to handle the system, and GoCSM ultimately gives you the data to do both. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.